If you like our video, click the button to subscribe to our channel and get easy access to new content. To see our full suite of ad-free video courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides, visit us at www.teachucomp.com. There are many ways to create artboards in Photoshop. As mentioned earlier in this tutorial in the lesson titled How to Create a New Document in Photoshop, to add an artboard to a new document when creating it, check the Artboards checkbox in the Preset Details pane at the right side of the New Document window in Photoshop. This creates a new artboard of the size specified by the document preset within the Photoshop document, within which you then create your content. Because artboards are used mainly by web and user experience designers, all the document presets under the Web and Mobile tabs in the new document window have the Artboards checkbox checked by default. Alternatively, to add an artboard in Photoshop to the currently opened document, click the Artboard tool in the Tools panel. The Artboard tool in Photoshop shares a button in the Tools panel with the Move tool, so you may need to click and hold down on this button in the Tools panel, and then select the Artboard tool from the side menu that appears to activate it. After selecting the Artboard tool in Photoshop, then click and drag over the content in the Photoshop document to add to the artboard and define the artboard's default content and location in the Photoshop document. When adding a new artboard to an existing document, you often select all the content in the canvas to define it all as your first artboard, but it isn't required. Note that if you do select content by clicking and dragging over existing content, smart guides appear around the content to help you select the existing content to add to the artboard. Alternatively, to add a new blank artboard to an existing document outside the main canvas area, click and drag outside the canvas to add a new artboard with no content to the selected location. To select an artboard when the Artboard tool is activated, click its name in the canvas. Alternatively, click its name in the Layers panel. To set the size of a selected artboard, change its width and height values in the W and H fields in the Properties panel, or choose an artboard preset size from the Preset dropdown. To set the background color of the artboard, select a choice from the Artboard Background Color dropdown in the Properties panel. To move a selected artboard in Photoshop when the Artboard tool is activated, click and drag it by its name to a new location in the workspace, and then release it. Alternatively, click the artboard to select it, and then click and drag it by its border and release it in a new location. Alternatively, to nudge a selected artboard, use the arrow keys on your keyboard. This method is helpful when overlapping artboards make them hard to select using the mouse. To add another new blank artboard in Photoshop adjacent to an existing selected artboard when the Artboard tool is activated, click the button that looks like a plus sign within a circle at the side of the selected artboard to which to add the new adjacent artboard. Photoshop then adds a new adjacent artboard at the selected side. You can then select the new artboard and set its properties in the Properties panel as usual. Alternatively, to add a new adjacent artboard that contains a copy of the selected artboard's content when the Artboard tool is activated, Hold down the Alt key on your keyboard before clicking the desired plus button in a circle. Then release the Alt key. Doing this instead creates a copy of the selected artboard's content in the new artboard, which often saves time you would have spent duplicating layers between artboards. You can then modify the size of the new artboard as usual. Alternatively, you can create artboards in Photoshop using menu bar commands instead of the artboard tool if desired. However, if creating multiple artboards this way, you will most likely need to enable the artboard tool to move the artboards in the canvas as needed. To create an artboard from the current canvas contents, if no artboards exist in the Photoshop document, select Layer, New, Artboard from the menu bar to open the New Artboard dialog box. Type the name for the new artboard into the Name field. To select an artboard preset size, select one from the Set Artboard to Preset dropdown. Otherwise, enter the width and height into the Width and Height fields. Then click the OK button to create the new artboard and add the content to it. Alternatively, selecting this same command if an artboard exists in the current Photoshop document instead adds a new blank artboard to the Photoshop document. Alternatively, to add a new artboard to a Photoshop document and move selected layers or layer groups into it, select the layers or layer groups to move to a new artboard in the Layers panel. To then add a new artboard containing the selected layers and/or layer groups, choose Layer, New, Artboard from Layers from the menu bar. Set the artboard options in the New Artboard dialog box as usual, and then click the OK button. Alternatively, to instead add a new artboard containing only one selected layer group from the Layers panel, choose Layer, New, Artboard from Group from the menu bar. Remember to click the subscribe button to see more of our videos. See our full suite of courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides at www.teachucomp.com.